Yo, just before this video starts, really quickly, I wanted to add that I do not recommend you take any drugs ever in your life. But if you must take them, I recommend that you do it responsibly and do your research. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, get ready. Yo, what is going on, guys? Actually, let me start that video different. What to expect when taking magic mushrooms for the first time. That's my normal intro, isn't it? So you know what, I know I normally only talk about crime on this channel, but if you watch my last video, you will see that I was very high on magic mushrooms. I'm very happy, very smiley. A couple of people mentioned magic mushrooms in my last video, and one guy asked me to do a video talking more about my experiences with shrooms. So I don't need to be asked twice, so I thought I'd do a quick video and explain what my experience has been like with these, because it's something that's really changed my life. So where to begin? Okay, so I've not drank alcohol or taken cocaine or anything for a few years now. The reason why, I'm not responsible on it. I act like an idiot. I do some crazy things, not all the time, but I think everything that ever has gone drastically wrong in my life hasn't been a result of drugs or alcohol. So I just haven't touched it for a number of years now, and I feel much better for it. But I watched Mike Tyson on a Logan Paul podcast, must have been a few months ago now, and I watched him just get some mushrooms and just down them. And then I remember thinking, you know what, I've heard this and that about mushrooms, but I've never actually had any experience with it. So I started to watch more of Mike Tyson talking about his experience with mushrooms, and he mentioned how it really helped his anxiety and helped his depression. And I think in one article in the British newspapers, he went out to say that had it not been for mushrooms, he would have ended his life. So that already got me interested. So then I started scouring YouTube, looking at other people's take on mushrooms and experiences. One thing I noticed straight away is a lot of the people talking about mushrooms, they weren't going, yeah, take mushrooms in it. And they weren't like, yo, take mushrooms, man, like, or hippie, like I thought it would be. There's just really sophisticated, educated people who you wouldn't normally associate drugs with, and you definitely wouldn't associate carelessness with. And I'm thinking, these people all talking, they all seem better people than me in the respect of career-wise, education-wise, knowledge-wise. And if they've assessed the situation and they've all done it, it makes me feel better about my decision to explore it more. So after a lot of research, after watching tons and tons of videos about people's experiences and reading a lot about how it's changed people's life, I got so hyped to do it. The problem is, no one where I live does mushrooms. Well, they probably do, but no one I know about does mushrooms. So I really struggle to find anyone who knew anyone who did them. A lot of the times I was speaking to people, they're like pulling faces or making gestures like, why the hell would they know about mushrooms? They got insulted that I asked. So I continued ringing people. I was ringing friends who I hadn't spoken to in like 15 years. Saying, bro, how you doing? Long time no see. I hope you're well. Sorry to bother you, but I've got this mission. I'm trying to find mushrooms. Do you know anything? Sorry, bro, no. Anyway, after a lot of calling out, when I want something, I never give up, After a lot of reaching out to people, someone finally put me in touch with a guy from Newcastle who did sell them. And after a lot of going back and forth, I finally got him on the phone and I said, bro, let me come and pick them up tonight. He was like, no, I'll just post them here because it's a 3-hour drive for me. But when I want something, I don't like waiting. So I was like, bro, no, I'll come and get them tonight. Is that okay? Because I'm not going to be able to do it. I made some excuse. And he was like, yeah, if you want to. So I was like, get in there. So I jumped in the car, 3-hour drive there, 3-hour drive back. By the time I got back home, I had a bag of magic mushrooms. I was so excited. So next chapter, I didn't have them that night because I knew I'd work the next day. I wanted to give myself a lot of space to afford to take in whatever happened or recover from whatever happened. And pretty much I thought I knew what to expect, but I knew I had to allocate a lot of time to be able to have them properly. So the next day, I had them. I had booked the following day off. It was a really nice summer day, I worked out how much I need. I wanted to take, and I took half of that. And what I thought, let me see how I get on with half of what I expect to take, and then I'll take the other half if it's going well, right? Sorry. So I've got the mushrooms. I've opened the bag. I've weighed them out. I've taken half. I've got my backpack on. I've got a nice t-shirt, shorts. It's such a sunny day, and I've gone for a walk over the local park. As I'm walking, I'm looking around me, and I'm looking for I got told, like, the colours that are naturally around you, they just seem so much more vivid and brighter and beautiful. So as I'm walking, I remember just looking at trees, looking at the leaves, looking at everything, and thinking, do they seem greener than normal? Does that seem browner than normal? Is the sun really shining a lot more than normal? And I couldn't work out. Every time I thought it was, I was thinking, well, is that in my head? It's not an obvious difference. But I'm not always walking around looking at leaves and the sun. You know what I mean? So I didn't really know. I remember I lay down for some time. I must have been walking around for a good hour, and I didn't feel anything. I remember my partner was on the phone like, what's happening? And I said nothing. I don't think anything's happened, but I do feel really good. I remember that. I remember feeling really good. So I finished at the park now. I'm thinking I may as well just go shop and then go home. So I'm walking to the shop, and I just think of this joke in my head or something funny in my head, and I just start laughing on the street as I'm walking. And that's not normally like me, because I like to think I'm a pretty cool guy, right? And I don't walk around the street with a big smile and laughing to myself. But I just couldn't stop smiling and grinning. I kept thinking, Alex, do you really find this funny? Or because you're on mushrooms, are you trying to change your personality? And then that confused me. So then it immediately stopped me from laughing. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you that. So I'm going to the shop, so like a local co-op. And I'm looking at all these biscuits. I'm thinking, which biscuit shall I buy? Because I thought I'm going to have to kick myself out. I didn't want to leave my room later. I wanted to have a nice drink, nice food, and everything to just get me by, so I wouldn't have to leave. So I was thinking, what biscuit shall I take? And I was just looking at these biscuits, and I was thinking, wow, all these all these biscuit packaging is so beautiful. The colours are just amazing, and that's the first time I kind of stopped to stare at something, because before that I'd just been walking around on the move. And when I finally stopped and stares, the colours just went boom. Oh my god, the beauty, what it does, I can't explain the colours. I've tried to find a YouTube video which represents the actual mushroom visuals that you see, and nothing comes close. Nothing comes close. I can't even put up a video up and say this is similar to it, because nothing, what your brain can do is unbelievable. And the beauty of what I was seeing, I still know where I was. I was still conscious. I could see that I knew I was in a shop. I knew I was looking at the biscuits, but the colours were just amazing, amazing. So that's another thing while I'm on hallucinations. So before I took magic mushrooms, I used to think that if you took them, you would see dragons or Mickey Mouse or Sonic the Hedgehog or ghosts or axe murderers coming for you. And that's totally not true. So you do see, you do hallucinate, but never to the point where you think something's actually there which isn't there. Does that make sense? It's just beautiful. So the phone, I still see the phone, but all these colours will just be the most beautiful orange and blue I've ever seen. And the way the light shines off the corners, and it'll just be so sparkly. So that's the kind of things I see. And I think a lot of people see after I've read up about it. And another thing, I did mention this on my last video, but when I first took mushrooms, I thought if you took mushrooms, you'd jump off a building because you think you can fly. That's a story I was always told. And that's a story a lot of people around me was told as well. But yeah, totally not true at all. Totally not true, thank God. So anyway, I'm in the shop. I've seen all these beautiful colours and I can't stop smiling. I'm so happy that the trip's happening. I'm so happy that I'm feeling happy and I'm excited. But at the same time, I get scared. Not a bad scare, but I just want to be home. I just want to be away. Everyone said you should trip on the outdoors so you can take in the beauty. By that time, I knew there was changes going on in my brain. And I just wanted to be somewhere secure. I didn't want to be out in the middle of the street. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd left the park, the beauty of the park at this point. So I'm trying to walk home, but I can't walk home because I can't. Well, I can walk home, but I can't stop smiling. I've got the biggest smile on my face, and like I said before, I like to walk around. I don't walk around like a gangster, but I don't walk around with a big grin on my face like an idiot. So I've got the phone out of my pocket and I put the phone to my head, and I'm like just moving my mouth, pretending to have a conversation to give people, anyone who's looking at me, a reason to believe I'm smiling. Do you know what I mean? Other than just walk around like that. So yeah, I'm doing that all the way home. I finally get home, I close the door, I lie in my bed, and I look up, and the colours and the beauty and everything around me was just so amazing. And no video can do it justice. And I can remember being pissed off, thinking, why am I 36 years old? No one's told me about mushrooms, a drug which no chemicals are put into it. No one makes it. No one chops it up with different equipment or things. They just pick it and eat it as it is. And I get this fantastic experience with no hangover ever, with no addiction possibilities, with the fewest hospital admissions out of any drug in the world. And I've been getting drunk for all those years, getting in fights, getting arrested, taking coke, making myself so fucking poorly. And I can just take this fucking mushroom and see such beauty and feel so beautiful, fucking amazing. I couldn't believe that I was lied to and told this was a bad thing. It's crazy. You know, some countries, I think it's Canada now, they've legalised mushrooms. And I watched Netflix, there's a mushroom documentary about how it helps people. On BBC iPlayer, there's a different documentary about how psychedelics help people. So I suppose they are talking about it more, but I was just pissed off. I've been wasting my time doing all this other shit. And I could take one mushroom and first of all, see beauty, and second of all, feel beauty. And then it makes me become a better person. So I'm going to talk about that, right? So first of all, I have little stages, right? So the first stage is the mushrooms kicking in and very big good visuals, me just seeing beauty all around me. And I can just look at the wall or ceiling for maybe an hour, and all I see is patterns here. Oh, it's just so fucking good, but I can't explain it, because until you've had it, you'll never know. But it's, you know, like Avatar, or what's the other film? Inception, or you know, films which the animation is just pure beauty. You know, Avatar, you know, like when they go to the forest and they've got all the trees and the plants are alive and the colours and everything is just so beautiful. Well, times that by 1,000 and have it in your own room in front of you. I remember doing that with my hands and just seeing the memory of the hand. So I'd do that once, then another hand, the memory of it would follow it and follow it. Oh, but it's, mate, I can't explain it. I'm not going to try and explain it anymore, but trust me, I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in magic and all this stuff, but until I took mushrooms, and then you see what you see, you will not believe your eyes. It's amazing. And at all times, oh yeah, by the way, don't do mushrooms. You should never do mushrooms. Just saying that for YouTube. All the way I was in total control. At no point. So I could still walk in a straight line. I could still talk. I could still have a conversation. If anyone came to me to talk to me, they wouldn't know I was on mushrooms. I could still drive a car. I didn't, but I believe I could drive a car. I didn't mumble my words. What else? I wasn't wobbly or swaying. It was perfectly fine. It was just visually. And I knew exactly what I was doing. I was in control at all times. So where did I get to? Okay, so yeah, the first stage for me is the visuals of what I see. And a great feeling good. I remember the first time I had a mirror. This is my old place. I had a huge mirror, and it would stop at the top of the stairs, right? So I could sit at the top step and just look in the mirror. I remember looking in the mirror at myself, and it was like looking into another dimension. I could see myself. It was me, but then behind me was like, I can't explain it. It's just pure beauty, a different world, a different magic. You're seeing magic. And at the time, I know I'm taking mushrooms. I know that what I'm seeing isn't real. I know that it's hallucinogenic and it's a result of what I've taken. I'm perfectly aware of all that. But still, what you see is real. You really see what it is. You see, you know what I mean? It's just fucking amazing. It's just breathtaking, and so pure and clean as well. It doesn't feel dirty or wrong. Now that Coke or other drugs or alcohol you get that sick, it just didn't feel wrong. It felt nice. Anyway. So, I remember sitting in front of that mirror naked, right? Because it was just me on my own in this apartment. I was looking in the mirror. And then the next stage for me, after that first hour and a half, and the visuals start to calm down a bit, or you just get used to them, is a lot of inward thinking. There's a lot of meditation. And this where I think it helps with anxiety. It makes me so positive, such a positive person. Everything around me, I see in a positive way. It makes me extremely empathetic. So I've never meditated before. If someone told me to meditate, I just wouldn't be. I just shut down. I just wouldn't be interested at all. But that first day, I just sat and I just had some nice instrumental music on in the background. All I did. Oh, someone's ringing me. Sorry, let me just. Yo, I'm back. Sorry about that. I do apologise. Technically, I'm working and I've just had a call from a colleague. I can't remember where I got to now. It's been a 10-minute call. What was I talking about? Okay, different stages, I think, yeah? Okay, yeah, so it makes me very empathetic. I don't know if I said that. So when I take the mushrooms, after the visual stage, I get very, very empathetic. And I tend to think about a lot of other people, my close people around me, friends and family, colleagues. And like I said before, meditating is never really my thing. When I think of meditating, I just think of closing your eyes and going, But the way I see it now is really just taking time away from everything else, no distractions, and just thinking about my life and me and my effect on people around me and their lives as well. So although I love my friends and family, I've never really looked at them individually, empathetically. For example, I might see my mother as a good mum. I love her a lot, and she'll always be there for me. I'll always be there for her. And we've got our relationship and our relationship history. But when I'm on mushrooms, I can spend like a good 20 minutes thinking of my mum in a very empathetic way, and I'll think of what life's like for her. So I see my mum's life through her eyes. I think what it's been like for her having to raise 3 children and deal with them and just spend a lot of time thinking about stuff which I've selfishly probably never ever considered before, and really giving it a lot of time to think about what life's like for her now and how she sees me now and what life's like since she got married and her old divorce and her job and just lots of stuff which one of the closest people to me in my life I've never ever thought of from their point of view. And I do that with not just my mum but nearly every family member. The amount of messages I sent after taking mushrooms the following day just to family members and friends saying how much I appreciate them. Like my brother is my boy is I love him very much, but he's my fucking brother. Yeah, I'm not nice to him. Oh well, I am. Yeah, I'm not horrible, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But then after mushroom trip and after giving him a lot of time and thought, I remember messaging him just saying, just want you to know how really proud I am of you, and how you've grown into a really respectable, mature man. And at times I'm jealous of you because you do so well and you've got such a nice life and all. And it's just things which maybe I should have said, but I've never thought about until I was on mushrooms in the way that I now have. I think it's made me so much more appreciative of others around me. It's made me also reach out to old family members who I hadn't seen in a very long time. Reach out to them. I've been out for dinner with them. I've been out for tea with them. I've spent time going to the gym and training with them. And it's just reuniting old relationships, which probably wouldn't have been reunited had it not been for mushrooms and me making an effort to go and do that. But mushrooms really make you think about what's important in your life and what matters. I remember when I was doing my research before deciding to take mushrooms, and I read a lot about I remember spoke to one guy. No, I didn't speak. I watched a video of one guy saying he was about to take mushrooms. He says, right, I'm ready to take more mushrooms. I've got my list of questions and blah, blah, blah. And I remember thinking, what do you mean list of questions? And I've later seen this pop up a few other times because, and I understand now, when you're on mushrooms, there's things which maybe you were undecisive about or wasn't sure about, which mushrooms help just to decide. So I can think about stuff which I wasn't sure about on mushrooms, and the mushrooms just give me the answer, and it's the right answer. It's what I should be doing all along. I've got a message which I saved about. I wonder if I can find it. I bet it's going to take me bloody ages. Shrooms, Reddit, best day of your life. I'm not gonna be able to find this thing on my. I do apologise for this. Shrooms, Reddit, best day. Okay, right. Give me a sec. I want to find this one comment because this comment was really touched me, and now I've taken shrooms, I can totally relate to this comment. And it was a guy talking about how his friend had taken mushrooms, and his friend was suffering with anxiety and depression, and after taking them, he best day of your life. After taking them, he's just felt so much better. I'm not gonna take it. Oh, fuck, I'm not gonna find it, am I? Well, I can't find it. I'm so sorry to make you having to wait through that. Right, fuck it. Okay, well, I'll try and recite. It was on Reddit, and some guy had said that his friend had gone in with all these questions, stuff which he was really struggling with, and his friend had never taken mushrooms before. And he said, his friend said immediately every question he had, which he'd been struggling with for months, years, was answered like that. And it said the answers were so obvious, he was confused why he didn't see the answers in the first place. And it also said that after that trip, I remember reading the words, my friend told me that day, during his trip, that it was the best day of his entire life. He said his friend told him that several times, and I can totally relate. I've only been taking them 6 months now, and I've had some of the best days of my life on them. Now, I've obviously got days where I met my partner, my son was born, and I'm not saying it's the best day in a particular thing or an event has happened. What I mean by best day, when I say best day, it's in just the happiest day, pure happiness. And afterwards, it's not like a drug where you're saying, oh, I felt happy, but now I've woken up and feel awful. It's like, I remember that day now, I took my mushrooms, and that was the happiest day of my life. One day, I took mushrooms, and all I did, instead of going into meditation, because I normally never watch anything electronic, I never watch television or anything, but I've watched my particular favourite artists on YouTube for about 4 or 5 hours. And I remember every second, every minute of it, there's no place else I'd rather been than sat there watching his music. And the way it made me feel, I felt so connected to this person. I felt so much love and admiration for this person. And I remember thinking, I'm so happy. And I remember looking and thinking, I've got another 30 songs and all this to listen to yet and watch and hear interviews. And I remember thinking, this is the best day of my life. Not because it was an eventful day, but because it was just so happy and filled with positive stuff. But then each time's different. Some days, that's what I did. Some days I just think the whole time about my family. Others days I think about work, nothing but work and how I can become a better person at work. Some days it's about my son and my fitness, and it's just like, I think people say it directs you into the way you need to go. But for me, it's just been amazing. It's been life-changing. So I was struggling a lot. My hairdresser, about a year ago, my hairdresser cutting my hair says, oh, Alex, just to let you know, mate, you're losing your hair here. And I said to him, I goes, bro, I'm meant to come in here, feel good. Now you've ruined my day now. And I was like, right, I'm gonna lose my hair here. And now, so for like a year now, I've been getting really upset about it. Not upset about it, but really paranoid about it, thinking what's it gonna like when I lose my hair. I was probably more than I should have been. I'd be getting concerned about it, thinking about going and getting hair. I mean, I'm not even a fucking vain guy, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck normally, but I was thinking about getting hair transplant. I was thinking about all this stuff. I don't know why, but I was. And what else? I was struggling with my weight as well. I wouldn't wear a t-shirt because the majority of my life I've always been trim and in shape. So over the last few years I have put a bit of weight on because I'm getting old and lazy. So now I didn't like wearing t-shirts because I knew I never looked as good as I used to in a t-shirt. I looked chubby and you can see my man boobs and all that. Do you know what I mean? So I used to get down about that as well. Not down about it. I wouldn't say I was upset about it, but if I'd leave the house, I'd always make sure I had my t-shirt on. I'd start wearing hats a lot more and all that. But anyway, on mushrooms, my anxiety, and I've only told you two things there. I had tons of hang-ups about me, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and all that. I had tons of hang-ups that all went away on my second magic mushroom trip. Gone! Now I don't care about my hair, I don't care about my body. I remember sitting in front of the mirror thinking, yo, yeah, you are going bald. Yeah, that's what happens. It's all right. Because you're a dad now. You're going to be a granddad one day. And you're going to get old and your son's going to be a dad and a granddad. This is a circle of life. But getting old happens. It's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. Embrace it. But you know what? I didn't just say those words. It came from within. I felt it. I felt good about losing my hair if I am going to lose my hair. I'm putting on weight. I didn't think to myself, oh yeah, you're getting old, put loads of weight on. I thought, well, you know what? Your body's not that important. You know, it's, I remember thinking about all these fitness models that I not idolize, but sometimes look at in magazines or online when I got the top off and I got the six pack and all them things, yeah? I always sometimes look at them here and I think to myself, oh, I wish I could look like that. But when I was on mushrooms, I was like, yeah, you're never going to look like that because you're not going to wake up at 5 in the morning and go gym twice a day and eat that food because that's not you. But listen, laughing about that, you know what I mean? You chose a different life and you're happy with your life. Yeah, do not become a slob, Alex, but you know what? Let's go gym because the gym will help you out. You start feeling better about yourself and do this and do that. And it like came within as well. And I got excited about going to the gym. No longer did it become a chore. And then that's when I reached out to my cousin who I hadn't spoken in ages, sent him a really nice message now. And then that week, me and him went to the gym. Then we started training every week. And so much good came from the meditation and what I thought about when I was on mushrooms and the whole positive energy that it just lasted forever. Like my fitness, my hang-ups on my hair, and the way I see my mother now, my friends and other family, and the way I look at them and admire them, my partner. Not that I ever took her for granted, but there's some things which I never really saw from her point of view. And now seeing things from her point of view has made me able to appreciate her so much more, be a better partner to her, be more understanding. And it's just, I can't think of a single thing mushrooms is bad at. It's not done anything. Also, I mentioned that they're non-addictive, but there's a thing called tolerance as well. I described it to my friend when I take mushrooms as it's like going to Alton Towers. It's not something you're going to want to do all the time because you have so many thoughts when you're on these. That it's like going to Alton Towers in a sense that I go to Alton Towers, I enjoy Alton Towers, I have the best time at Alton Towers, but then I'm not going to want to go the next day or the next week or next month. Do you know what I mean? And mushrooms like that, I have a great time. It's the best time ever, but I'm never going to want to take it the next day. However, on one occasion, I was very bored. This was a few months ago. And I had such a nice trip. I think that it was the day after the best day of my life. Listen to that music guy. And so I thought, I'm going to take them the day after. I know people said you shouldn't, but I just did because I'm stupid. I took the same amount of mushrooms and it had absolutely no effect on me at all. It was like just ate an ice cube because there's a tolerance level when it comes to mushrooms. So, which is really good, really, because it means you can't really get addicted to it. It means, so it's normally 2 weeks, I've been told. So if you take magic mushrooms and take them soon afterwards, then they're not going to have an effect, because your body's got kind of used to them. It's built up a tolerance, and you need to leave it a certain amount of time before you can take them and it have the same effects. Now, you can have the same effect earlier, but it means you have to take 4 times as much, which is just going to be a waste of money. But like I said, anyway, when I take them, it's not something I think I want to do the next day. So yeah. Any other questions that people normally ask me when I talk to them about mushrooms? How long does it last? Everyone's different. For me, it's around 4 to 5 hours. At times when I used to live on my own, I was taking them, and then after 2 or 3 hours, I take more. I try and expand the experience. Have I got anything else to say about mushrooms? The taste. So when I first had, I don't like mushrooms. I never liked mushrooms. If I see someone give me a piece that's got mushrooms, I'll have to take them off. Because these mushrooms, because when you have mushrooms, they're normally dry. They've been dried out, so they're like crispy, like crackers. And I did eat them straight out of the packet when I first had them. But now, for some reason, I just hate the taste of it. I hate it. They get stuck in your teeth. They're horrible. Someone told me that they make tea out of it. I was hesitant to make tea out of it because I thought I'd be losing some of the potency. But the taste is so awful that I did give it a go, and it's lovely. So I get mushrooms now. I grind it up. I add honey, some ginger and lemon tea bags. Put it in a saucepan, warm it up. What else? Oh, just add some ginger. And then, what else? That's it. Boil it for like, or simmer it for like 20 minutes, stir around, all around, put it through a sieve, and it just comes out like this beautiful honey-coloured tea. And I drink it, and it's lovely. You wouldn't even know it's a drug. And then 20 minutes later, or yeah, 20, because it acts faster than when you eat it. 20 minutes later, I look at my phone, and then the colours will just go. And then I get excited and I enjoy my life. So yeah, that's that. And some guy asked me to talk about my experience with mushrooms. So there it is. I hope I've answered any questions. I'd love to hear if you guys have ever taken it and what your thoughts on it. Whether you had misconceptions about me as well. Whether you thought it would make you jump off a building. I spoke to some people about it. The amount of people I speak to, I tend to get people excited about it. It makes them want to taste it. But then I've got other friends who'd be like, never, nothing you can say. But then I don't really want to be going around and forcing or trying to persuade people to take it, because that's not a good thing to do with anything. So, but I know after taking them, I was so frustrated that I didn't know they existed. So I think people should be aware of how good they are, or just watch a Netflix or BBC for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? We watch what they've got to say and people's experiences. I recommend everyone trying to take it responsibly at least once in your life to see the beauty, stuff that you wouldn't even believe is possible. But yeah, man, I think that's all I'm going to do today. I think, last time I did a talking video, talking to the camera, I really enjoyed it, as opposed to the ones where I do all the pictures and that. Because, I've got a lot of intentions and continue talking about crime, doing it the way I normally do. But the images take so long, I probably won't even do it. I only feel like doing them once a year, if that. So I probably won't do that. But if you're happy for me to talk to you like this, the next one we'll talk about crime. And I did say I'd talk about the psychology of prison, didn't I? So I will talk about that next time. I might do a Q&A as well, because over the last few videos, I've had like 15,000 comments, mainly all from my first video. Is it 15,000? Or maybe less. Maybe a few thousand. I know a few thousand. Maybe 2,000. I don't know. I've got a lot of questions, which I've never really answered, so I might go through them. Anyway, peace. Enjoy yourself, yeah? Much love, as the mushroom community say constantly. Much love. Respect to you all. Have a good day. Peace.